Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we take those super long, often boring corporate reports and tell you what's really going on. Today we're diving into ATAI Life Sciences proxy statement, the document that tells you about their upcoming shareholder meeting. This isn't just about ticking boxes, it's about major decisions that could change how the company is run and where it calls home. Think board shakeups, potential tax changes, and even how easy it is for shareholders to make their voices heard. So buckle up, because these seemingly small details can have big consequences. First off, ATAI is having their annual shareholder meeting in May. It's a hybrid meeting, meaning you can attend in person in Amsterdam or virtually, which is pretty convenient. They'll be voting on some important stuff like approving last year's financial results, picking their auditor, and crucially making big changes to the company's structure. One of the key proposals is changing their board structure. Currently, they have a two-tier system with a management board and a supervisory board. The plan is to move to a one-tier system, which is more common in the US. They believe it will streamline decision-making. Also, they're asking shareholders to agree to remove some rules tied to their German tax residency. This could mean changes to where they pay taxes. So that's a pretty big deal. They're also voting on adding John Hoffman to the supervisory board. He has a background in investment banking, so he could bring some financial expertise to the table. Looking at the current supervisory board, we see a mix of experience. There's Christian Angermeyer, the founder, and others like Sabrina Martucci Johnson, with experience in building biopharmaceutical companies. The board seems to have a pretty good range of skills. Another change involves Dr. Srinivas Rao, who's currently the CEO. They want to make him a managing director, but this is tied to removing those German tax residency rules we talked about earlier. If they don't get that approval, his appointment might not happen. Same goes for Ann Johnson, the Chief Financial Officer. Now let's zoom in on the changes to the company's rules, which they call Articles of Association. It includes moving to a one-tier board, shedding those German tax rules, and also making it easier to change the rules in the future. Currently, it takes a supermajority to change the articles, and they want to drop that requirement. If they switch to that one-tier board, they also need a new compensation policy. They need a new set of rules for paying the directors. They're also proposing to get rid of a limit on how big of a cash bonus someone can receive. The proxy is also about extending some important powers the management board already has. One is the power to issue new shares. Another is the power to buy back their own shares on the market. And this can be a way to increase the value of the remaining shares. Let's quickly look at what they're paying their auditors, Deloitte and Touche. The audit fees were about $2.8 million last year, a little less than the year before. These fees are pretty standard. Who owns the most of ATAI Life Sciences? A Pyron investment group controlled by Christian Angermeyer has a big chunk. Galaxy Group Investments also owns a notable percentage. It's always good to know who has the most influence. Here we can see some of the executives and board members and how many shares they own. Florian Brand owns 5.8%, Srinivas Rao has 2.1%, and Ann Johnson has less than 1%. Digging into some related party transactions, a Pyron investment group, again controlled by the chairman, purchased a bunch of common shares for around $26.5 million earlier this year. These kinds of deals always raise questions about fairness and potential conflicts of interest. Let's check out how the top execs were paid last year. Srinivas Rao made around $3.5 million with a base salary of $568,333. Florian Brand, who's no longer with the company, made a little less, and Ann Johnson took home about $1.5 million. A lot of that compensation is based on stock and option awards, so it depends on the company doing well. Here's a summary of the amount of stocks the executives can purchase. As of the end of last year, Florian Brand could purchase roughly 7 million stocks. Dr. Rao can purchase 3.5 million. Finally, let's see the compensation of the non-Implice directors. Their board fees are pretty average and also have stocks they can purchase based on tenure and committee assignment. Now, what does this all mean? ATAI is at a crossroads. They're trying to simplify their structure and potentially move away from being tied to Germany for tax purposes. The success of these changes hinges on shareholder approval. Also, I see a number of financial transactions happening within related parties, so these things always warrant extra attention. One of the key weaknesses would be potential tax implications from changing their tax residency, and it's crucial the management get it right. If the management has strengths in their experience and have been taking concrete steps to get the company to a better place, and it shows by their actions. So that's the story for ATAI Life Sciences. It's all about simplifying, streamlining, and setting the stage for future growth. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.